Hi, first graders. Today we're going to be working on lesson 14-4, composing 2D shapes. Our I can statement today is, I can put shapes together to make another shape. So let's take a look at our solve and share. It's asking us to use these three shapes to make a larger shape. They're asking you to show three different ways to fill in this large shape. You can use the red, blue, or green shapes to fill in this space. What kinds of combinations can we put together to make a larger shape? Can you visualize it? Can you picture it in your mind? Which shapes can we put together to make this larger shape? Let's take a look at some examples. Here we have Axel's work. You can see he found three combinations of smaller shapes to fill in the larger shape. He used one red trapezoid and one green triangle here. Then he used two of the smaller blue shapes, and then a small blue shape and two green triangles. So he made the shape in three different ways. If we look now at Tessa's work, we see that she also found three ways to fill in the larger shape. She used four green triangles, two green triangles and one blue pattern block, and then two pattern blocks that were blue. Axel and Tessa both found three ways to make the shape, and their ways were different from each other. This reminds us that there are many ways we can make the same shape. Let's take a look now at our visual learning. Look at the shapes. What shapes do you see? How many small red shapes do you see? Think your answer. Say your answer. Two. How many large yellow shapes do you see? Think your answer. Say your answer. One. You can use smaller shapes to make a large shape. You can start by first tracing the large shape. How many sides does the yellow shape have? Let's count. Think your answer. Say your answer. Did you select 6 sides? If we count them out, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The yellow shape has 6 sides. You can use smaller shapes to cover the tracing, just as they have done. How many red shapes do you need to cover the yellow shape? How many red shapes did they use to cover the yellow shape? You need 2 red shapes. Is there a different way to make this shape? Yes. Now you know how to use smaller shapes to make a larger shape. Let's take a look back at our lesson now, and we'll continue on. Let's look at the Do You Understand box. It says, show me. How can you make a large shape using smaller shapes? I'm going to move over to my interactive here that I will be sending you to practice with also. And here, I'm going to take a look at the shapes that we had in the video. In the video, they had one large yellow shape, a hexagon, and they used two small red shapes, two trapezoids, to match and make one large yellow shape. So if I can rotate my trapezoid and slide it over, two red shapes is the same as one yellow shape. So to answer the question, I can put smaller shapes together to build a large shape. We took two smaller red shapes, put them together to build the larger yellow shape. All right, let's take a look at our guided practice. They want us to use pattern blocks to make the larger shape that we see here, which is a large triangle. They want us to find two ways to make the large triangle using blue and green pattern blocks. So if I move back over, I'm going to clear out what we had. I want to think about building a large triangle. Okay. Their example shows that they used 0 of the blue and 4 of the small triangle. So I'm going to try and test their work using 4 smaller triangles. Okay, so I'm going to turn and rotate to build the base of my triangle. And I was able, just like they did, to make a large triangle using 1, 2, 3, 4 small green triangles. So our first example used 0 of the blue pattern blocks and 4 of the green triangles. But I need to find another way to make the large shape. This time I'm going to try using some of the blue pattern blocks. So over this shape, remember we want the same shape, I'm going to try with my blue. And I see I can slide one of the blue shapes here and use my two small green triangles to make the large triangle. So one blue and two small green triangles can make the larger triangle. So I'm going to fill that in on my pattern chart. One blue and two small green triangles can be used to make the larger triangle, which is the shape they asked us to practice with. Now it will be your turn to practice. You're going to think about building larger shapes. What are 3 ways to build a large hexagon using these 3 pattern blocks? What about using this small green shape to make a large circle? Think about your ways. You can go ahead and draw in your ways as you're working, or you can also use, for some of them, the pattern blocks link that I'm sending through Remind to your parents so that you can actually click on and move the shapes around to try and build your larger shapes. So now it's your time to practice building larger shapes from smaller shapes. In number 4, you get to make your own new shape by using pattern blocks. You can decide which shape to make, and then you're also going to work on your problem solving. Thank you for listening. I hope you're working hard on all of your e-learning and you're enjoying learning about shapes. And I'll see you soon on Zoom, and you can check back tomorrow for another math lesson. Thank you so much. Have a great day.